Hello, welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. I'm Qocaman. Military units of the armed forces of Armenia violated ceasefire 57 times throughout the day in various directions of the front using large-caliber machine guns and sniper rifles. Armenian armed forces located in Mosazgeh and Chinari villages of Berd region subjected to fire the positions of Azerbaijan army located in Aghdam village of Tovuz region. The positions of Azerbaijan army were also fired from the positions of Armenian military units located near the occupied Goyarx, Chilaburt villages of Terter region, Novruzlu village of Aghdam region, Aşağı Veyselli, Qaraxanbəyli, Aşağı Seyid Əhmədli, Görgan, Kürdlər villages of Fizili region, as well as from the positions located on nameless hills in Goranboy, Terter and Aghdam regions, Ministry of Defense reported. In the foreign policy doctrine, Azerbaijan attached strategic importance to relations with neighboring countries. Due to this result-oriented policy, Azerbaijan-Iran relations, united by a common history and geography, have a special place. On September 7th, President İlham Aliyev touched upon regional security and bilateral relations. At the same time, he once again brought up the atrocities of Armenian vandalism.
Deepening of the relations between Baku and Tehran is of strategic importance in a very sensitive region. Therefore, the two countries, united by a common history and geography, are interested in the dynamic development of the relations. High-level economic relations, successful implementation of transport and energy projects, enhancement of humanitarian relations, first of all depend on ensuring peace and security in the region. But Armenia's aggressive policy poses a serious threat to this. The fact that when receiving Iran's ambassador, President drew attention to Armenia's aggressive policy should be viewed in this context. Armenia conducted ethnic cleansing against the Azerbaijanis, lifted occupation and separatism to the state level. As President İlham Aliyev said, our historical religious monuments, mosques, had been destroyed by Armenia. The head of state said there were videos and photos showing that animals were kept at some mosques. President İlham Aliyev called it a crime against the entire Muslim world. Armenian vandalism sees no borders and is mainly against Islamic civilization and Islamic culture. The most terrible is that this process is still going on. As a result of the military aggression in Nagorno-Karabakh and adjacent regions, the ancient Azerbaijani territories occupied by Armenian territories, one of the first human habitats, Azıq and Tağlar caves, Karaköpək, Üzerliktepe, burial mounds are now used for military purposes, along with burial mounds, cemeteries, sepulchres, tombs, mosques and temples. The monuments belonging to the Caucasian Albania and other national monuments are destroyed. The Vandals destroyed Yuxarı Gövhərağa, Köçərli, Mərdanli Cuma Mosque in the territory of Shusha Historical Architectural Reserve. The house museums of the great composer Üzeyir Hacıbəyov, the founder of the professional vocal art Bülbül, palace complex of Khurshud Banu Natavan, most houses reflecting the features of the Oriental architecture, ancient cemetery in Shushar, sepulchre of the great Azerbaijani poet Vagiv, mansion of Panah Khan in Aghdam have also been destroyed by Armenian vandals. Armenian military units are brutally destroying our national cultural monuments. Along with historical and cultural monuments, the value of which cannot be determined, the total damage caused to our republic is 24 trillion manats, or about $7 billion US, as the cultural heritage of the Azerbaijani people is an inseparable part of the universal culture. Its protection is of international importance. The Hague, European and UNESCO conventions also require it. In other words, the Muslim world as well as the entire world should unite efforts against the Armenian vandalism. Otherwise, terrorism against the world heritage will be continued with more severe consequences.
A joint media platform is being established between Azerbaijan and Turkey. A delegation led by Assistant to the President and Head of the Foreign Policy Department of the Presidential Administration, Hikmet Hacıyev, held various meetings in Istanbul in this regard. During the meetings, issues related to close cooperation between public and private media in both countries, training as well as information policy were discussed.
Our main goal is to carry out joint activities in the field of media, taking into account the trends, such as disinformation and negative propaganda against our countries. We also discuss in detail issues such as the exchange of experience in various areas of the media, and we believe that there is great potential for cooperation. Recently, Turkey has extensive experience in the field of production of documentaries, and even in the field of feature films. Turkish television has good opportunities and experiences in terms of both technology and content creation, and we believe that there are great opportunities opportunities and resources for this particular cooperation. And during the visit, there are 4 media outlets accredited in Istanbul, including CNN, Reuters, Agence France Presse, and others with whom we will exchange views on a wide range of issues on the agenda of Azerbaijan's foreign policy.
The number of people infected with the coronavirus in the world has exceeded 27,515,000 people. More than 897,000 of them died. The next highest number of infections were registered in India. Also, the death toll in European countries is low. The rise in coronavirus patients has reached alarming levels. Meanwhile, the Sputnik V vaccine against COVID-19 has been launched in the circulation in Russia. For some time now, India has been #1 in the world in terms of daily infections. Another anti-recall was sent in the country on September 7th. About 91,000 new infections were detected. In one day, 1,016 coronavirus patients died. For a comparison, the number of infections per day in India is higher than the total number of infections during the pandemic in China. According to official statistics, the number of Chinese infected with the coronavirus is about 90,000. Despite the increase in infections, the Delhi Metro has restored operations after a 5-month hiatus. According to the statistics from Johns Hopkins University, the number of people infected with the coronavirus in the United States has exceeded 6,274,000 people. There were about 50,000 new infections a day, and 408 patients died. The total number of deaths is about 189,000. Although the position of America in terms of the number of infections and deaths has declined, it cannot be said that the situation has improved. The latest statistics indicate that 447 people died of coronavirus in Brazil and 223 in Mexico. In Ecuador, 3,800 deaths were recorded due to several days of collection of statistics. The rise of infections in Europe has reached alarming levels. In Spain, the number of daily infections in the last 2 weeks has changed between 8,000 and 9,000 people. The main source of the disease is still the capital, Madrid. However, compared to April-May, the death toll is very low. Infections are also on the rise in France. Over the past day, 4,203 people were infected and 25 patients died. During the week, 58 outbreak centers were detected. The number of daily infections in the UK has exceeded 3,000. The analysis revealed that the absolute majority of those infected in September were young people aged 17-21. This is explained by the fact that this age group does not comply with the requirements of social distance. In Russia, pandemic casualties have risen sharply again. The number of people who tested positive for coronavirus on the last day was 5,099. The highest number of infections was registered in Moscow and St. Petersburg. By the way, the Sputnik V vaccine registered with the Federation last month has already been distributed to hospitals. The date of application of the vaccine has not been determined yet. 139 cases of the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 128 people recovered and were released home. One citizen who earlier tested positive for the COVID-19 virus died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 37,557 with 34,965 recoveries and 552 deaths. The number of active infections is 2,040. To detect new infection cases, 973,838 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan so far. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.